Hey, welcome back to Teaching Them. I'm Michael Keentz. I have a lesson for you today called Hole in Your Heart. This lesson is about the God-shaped hole that is in each of our hearts that God designed there. He put there for a specific purpose. And so we're going to teach the kids about how we try to fill the hole with things that are not meant to fill the hole, things that will never satisfy filling the hole. What you're going to need for this is you're going to need to create a heart and then cut a cross out of it. And you want to make sure that the cross is cut so that it fits back in. So be very careful. Don't cut it into pieces. Make it one solid piece as you cut it out. And I used a piece of cardboard. I like the thick cardboard because it holds the cross better. You can definitely use thinner cardboard, but the cross may fall out. But in this case, because it's so thick, the cross is going to stick in there a little bit better. So here's how I'd run the lesson. Hey kids, I need someone to come in and be my volunteer to come hold this heart for me. Once I have my volunteer, then I'd say, you know what? All of us are born with a hole in our heart. And I don't mean an actual physical hole that can happen, and that's very serious. No, what I'm talking about is a spiritual hole in our heart. And that spiritual hole is something that we're always trying to fill. People try to fill that hole in a lot of different ways. Some people will try with money. And so they will try to fill that hole with money, but it doesn't actually fill the heart. So right here, you might have your volunteer look a little sad because their heart is not filled, even though this person's going after money. Sometimes we earn and earn and earn, and we may even become millionaires. And then we find out, you know what, this is not it. This did not make me feel like my life was wonderful. Other people, they will go and they will try to fill it with beauty. So you see, I have a woman here looking in a mirror. So they try to fill it with beauty, but beauty fades. And even if you're successful and you're a very beautiful person on the outside, when you get older, you start to lose some of that. And then you find out, well, that was not a good thing to base my life on. Other people will try to fill it with power, political power or business power or whatever kind of power that they can get. But that doesn't actually fill the hole very well either. And so they may get the power, but they're going to eventually find someone else who has more power and can take their power away. Another approach is people use drugs. So that's a little more difficult to see that picture. They use drugs and they try to fill that hole with drugs, all kinds of things. But drugs, they may make you feel good for a short period of time, but eventually they stop making you feel as good and you do more and more drugs. And then you find out your relationships are ruined. You maybe lost your job. You're unhealthy and you're sad all the time. The drugs will not, in the end, it's not a good thing to fill your heart with. Now, there are other things that we fill our heart with, and they can sometimes be good things, and they can sometimes be bad things. But whether they're good or bad, they're all not meant to design to fill our heart. Like we may say, you know what, I'm going to get strong. I'm gonna lift weights. I'm gonna make my body as powerful as possible. And that's awesome. That's a good thing. You should go after that. But it's not the thing that you should fill that hole in your heart with, because eventually, again, you're gonna get old and your strength will fade. And if that's what you depend on for your identity, it's not gonna satisfy. Other people may go after fame. A lot of people trying to become famous these days. In fact, kids often say when they're asked, what is your goal in life? And they say, I want to be famous. I want to get lots of likes. I want to go viral. And so that may work for a period of time, but eventually that also fades. It's a very dangerous place to be famous because it's easy for you to get canceled and then your fame goes away. And then what's your life based on? Other people, they seek out love, and they're like, if I can just find that right person to complete me, then I'll be happy. And yeah, that is a wonderful thing to go after, and you should go after it, but it's not the thing you should fill that hole in your heart with. If you try to fill your hole in your heart with somebody else, they're going to disappoint you, and there are going to be hard times. There are going to be times when you don't feel like you love each other very much, and those are going to be hard, and that hole in your heart is going to still call out to you. Another one is People will go after achievement. They'll try to be the best at what they do, and they'll try to fill their hole with being the best. But even that fades. People will break your records. People will come behind you, and they'll be better than you. Technology will increase, and people will get better at that thing than you are. Other people go to other religions and they try to fill the hole in their heart with other religions, but that doesn't satisfy either, because those religions are not the true religion, not the true relationship with Jesus that we need. Other people, they really delve into making beautiful things, and that's an awesome thing as well, but it's not what you fill the hole in your heart with. Eventually, you're just left with your things that you've created, and you're like, why am I still hungry for something more? Some people go into service and they say, I want to help people. And that's a wonderful thing. It's a beautiful thing. But if that's what you base your life around and you're trying to fill that hole in your heart with that, it won't eventually satisfy. And then the last one I have here, some people seek after knowledge. And they say, I'm going to fill my heart with getting to know everything there is to know about a particular topic. But even that doesn't fill your heart. So that's the bad news. The bad news is that everything in this life that we try to fill our heart with will fail except for one thing. And that's the good news. And for this, I want to go to Psalm 63, verses 1 and 2. The psalmist says, O God, you are my God. I earnestly search for you. My soul thirsts for you. My whole body longs for you in this parched and weary land where there is no water. I have seen you in your sanctuary and gazed upon your power and glory. Your unfailing love is better than life itself. How I praise you. You see, the psalmist was telling us that the only thing that satisfies is God. And so we do have one thing that will fill that hole in our heart, and that's Jesus. You can see it's a perfect fit. Jesus is the only thing that will fill that hole in our heart. And here's the really good news. Some of those things that I mentioned, not the drugs and not the power and things like that, but the love and the service and the doing good things, those things can actually be very fulfilling. But first, we have to know what is really designed to fill our heart, and that's Jesus. Once we have Jesus, then all those other things can be things that we do for the glory of God, to build his kingdom in partnership with him. And then we'll have true joy because of the things that we're doing. But we won't have true joy if we try to make those things take the place of Jesus in our heart. Only Jesus can fill that hole in our heart. All right, so teachers, this is the lesson, Hole in Your Heart. Hope that you'll try this out. You can easily make this at home. And if you want to print out the lesson, you can go to teachingthem.org and you can print out the lesson, and it will give you all those pictures that I showed. You can actually print those out in the documents that I have there. That's all I have for you today. God bless you. Have a good one, and I'll see you next time.